10 Hard Truths About People That Will Change How You See the World Introduction. Every day we pass countless faces, each one hiding a story deep enough to fill a book. Yet despite living side by side, true understanding often slips through our fingers. But what if behind every glance, every expression, there was a common thread, an ancient wisdom rooted in Stoicism? Today, we look beyond appearances, beyond assumptions, to uncover the timeless truths about human nature. These aren't signs of weakness, but reflections of inner strength. As we explore these ideas, we'll discover how Stoic philosophy can transform the way we connect, face adversity, and truly see others. So if you're ready to gain fresh insight and stand apart from the crowd, make sure to stay with me until the end. And if you find value here, consider subscribing to support the journey. Let's begin. Number 1. Everyone is shaped by their 1. Everyone is shaped by their experiences. Each of us is like a living book, our pages filled with the experiences we've lived, the moments we've endured, and the stories we've witnessed. It's remarkable to realize how every interaction, every fleeting second, becomes another layer that shapes who we are. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the experiences themselves that define us, but how we respond to them. Life, in this view, becomes a forge, each joy, setback, and challenge heating and molding our character. Consider someone who has weathered great hardship. Their approach to the world may carry a mix of caution and resilience, not because they were born with those traits, but because life has taught them both the fragility and strength of the human spirit. In contrast, someone raised in more protected surroundings may face the world with bold optimism. Neither perspective is right or wrong, they are simply reflections of the paths walked. This understanding changes how we see others. When someone acts in a way that confuses or frustrates us, perhaps they're overly guarded or surprisingly confrontational, it helps to remember the unseen experiences behind that behavior. As the Stoics remind us, we can't control others, but we can control our response. By focusing on the present moment and choosing how we react, we create space for empathy. We begin to look beyond the surface, responding not just to visible emotions, but to the deeper stories that shape them. This mindset cultivates a more grounded emotional intelligence, one rooted in both ancient wisdom and modern psychology. And with that, we gain a powerful tool, the ability to build richer, more meaningful relationships, even in a complex world. If you're finding value in this perspective and want to support the journey, I deeply appreciate a quick free favor. Hit that subscribe button. And don't skip ahead. You're part of a rare group willing to embrace insights that can truly reshape the way we understand life. 2. Diverse communication styles. Like rivers, the flow of communication varies greatly from person to person. Some speak like a rushing current, direct, bold, and forceful, while others resemble a quiet stream, choosing subtlety and nuance. This diversity in communication styles can be a beautiful tapestry that enriches our interactions, but if misunderstood, it can also lead to confusion and conflict. Stoicism offers valuable guidance here. The Stoics taught that meaningful interaction begins with awareness, listening carefully, responding wisely, and adapting without losing ourselves. It's not just about the words we use, but the intention and tone behind them. Take, for example, someone who communicates directly. They often value honesty and efficiency and may interpret subtlety as evasiveness. On the other hand, someone who leans toward a gentler, more indirect approach may find bluntness jarring or insensitive. Neither is wrong. Each style is shaped by personal history, culture, and belief. Understanding this can transform the way we connect. Adapting our style isn't about imitation, it's about building a bridge. It means meeting others where they are so the conversation can flow more smoothly. Behind every way of speaking lies a deeper story, experiences, emotions, and frameworks that shape how we express ourselves. A Stoic approach doesn't ask us to suppress our natural tendencies. Rather, it invites us to be intentional, to speak not to impress, but to connect, not to win, but to understand. And in doing so, we transform communication into a practice of empathy and wisdom. So, the next time you're puzzled by someone's vague hint, or caught off guard by their blunt honesty, pause, reflect. Consider not just what they're saying, but how and why. That moment of awareness may be the key to turning a potential misunderstanding into a moment of genuine connection. 3. Varied responses to stress. Stress touches us all, but not in the same way. Some people react like a storm, loud, intense, and immediate. Others respond more like a quiet drizzle, retreating inward, processing silently. These differences aren't random. They're shaped by our personalities, life experiences, and even our biology. Stoicism provides a timeless lens through which we can understand and manage these varied reactions. At its core, Stoic philosophy reminds us, while we cannot control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. For those who become confrontational under pressure, Stoic practices like reflection and restraint can serve as powerful tools, urging a pause before reaction, a breath before the storm. For those who tend to withdraw, Stoicism encourages mindfulness, to observe, acknowledge, and gently engage with our inner state, rather than retreat in silence. Understanding these patterns, both in ourselves and in others, allows us to create more compassionate, effective environments, especially in times of stress. It's not just about managing our own emotions, but also responding wisely to the emotions of those around us. For instance, if you know a colleague becomes defensive under pressure, you might choose a calm, empathetic tone when approaching a high-stakes conversation. On the other hand, if someone tends to shut down, offering them space, followed by a supportive check-in, may lead to better outcomes than pushing for an immediate response. Recognizing these differences builds emotional intelligence. It helps us navigate the delicate, often unseen dynamics that shape human behavior. And it's not about changing who people are. It's about understanding them more deeply, so we can collaborate and connect more effectively. Stoicism teaches that resilience isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending we're unaffected. It's about adapting, learning, and growing from every challenge. When we embrace this, we don't just survive stress, we transform it into an opportunity for connection, wisdom, and strength. Whether in our personal relationships, workplaces, or wider communities, this stoic calm becomes a quiet force, one that helps us bring grace, patience, and clarity to even the most turbulent situations. Before inherent judgment. Judgment is a natural human instinct, one with ancient roots. Early humans needed to make rapid decisions to survive, quickly assessing people and situations for danger. But in today's complex social world, those same snap judgments often cause more harm than good. They're based not on real danger, but on assumptions, biases, and incomplete information. Stoicism offers a different path. The Stoics teach us to suspend immediate judgment, to pause before reacting, and to seek clarity before drawing conclusions. A wise person, according to Stoic philosophy, strives to see things as they truly are, not as they first appear to be. This doesn't mean abandoning discernment. It means refining it. It means asking, am I responding to facts or just impressions? Is this reaction based on truth or on emotion and assumption? By practicing this pause, we give ourselves a moment to reflect, and in that space we open the door to deeper understanding. Consider this. A colleague misses a deadline. Our immediate reaction might be frustration. We might label them lazy or uncommitted. But if we pause, consider other possibilities, like a personal crisis or an overwhelming workload, we may choose empathy instead of criticism. This reflective approach to judgment protects us from misjudging others. It helps us avoid stereotypes and unfair conclusions. And most importantly, it fosters more compassionate, thoughtful relationships. Practicing Stoic judgment isn't about being passive. It's about being wise. It's about choosing to respond with reason rather than react with impulse. It allows us to interact with others based on a fuller understanding of who they are and what they might be going through. In doing so, we strengthen the foundation of mutual respect and trust, core values not just of Stoicism, but of any meaningful relationship. And collectively, this mindful way of seeing others can help build a more tolerant, kinder society. As the Stoics remind us, clarity begins when we question our first impressions. 5. Universal insecurities. In the landscape of human interaction, one truth often goes unspoken, yet it binds us all. No matter how confident someone appears, insecurities simmer beneath the surface. These quiet doubts, often hidden, are not signs of weakness. They are part of the shared human experience, connecting us at a deeply emotional level. Stoicism offers us powerful insights for navigating these invisible struggles, both in ourselves and in others. The Stoics teach that how we respond to our insecurities determines whether they become obstacles or stepping stones. When we acknowledge our vulnerabilities with clarity and compassion, we disarm their power over us. This self-awareness is more than an internal tool. It also opens a door to deeper empathy. When we realize that everyone, regardless of status or appearance, carries some form of self-doubt, we become less judgmental, more supportive, and far more human in our interactions. Imagine a colleague who hesitates to share an idea in a meeting. The impulse might be to overlook them, or worse, assume a lack of preparation. But a Stoic mindset invites us to look deeper, to recognize that behind the silence might lie insecurity, fear of rejection, or past experiences of being ignored. A simple gesture, inviting their input, affirming its value, can shift the entire dynamic. It builds trust, encourages growth, and fosters collaboration. By applying the Stoic lens, we create space for more authentic relationships rooted not in perfection, but in mutual understanding. Discussing insecurities openly may not eliminate them, but it transforms them. It replaces shame with honesty, isolation with connection. This approach doesn't just promote individual growth, it contributes to a more compassionate society. Stoicism, after all, isn't only about personal virtue. It's about how that virtue uplifts others. Each interaction becomes a chance to practice patience, empathy, and humility, qualities that turn vulnerability into strength. In recognizing the universality of insecurity, we uncover something quietly powerful, the chance to lead with understanding and to make others feel seen, heard, and valued. 6. Self-interest in relationships. Relationships are a delicate dance, a continuous balance of understanding and adapting to each other's needs, desires, and intentions. One fundamental and sometimes uncomfortable truth is this: not everyone will act with your best interests in mind. Often, people are driven, consciously or not, by their own self-interest. Stoicism teaches us to accept this reality without bitterness. We can't control others' actions or motivations, but we can control how we respond to them. By recognizing that self-interest is a natural part of human behavior, we free ourselves from unnecessary disappointment and resentment. This isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful. Rather, it's about cultivating a clear-eyed understanding of how people operate, acknowledging that many actions are rooted in personal goals, fears, or survival instincts. This insight allows us to approach relationships with greater wisdom and resilience. Instead of assuming others will always act altruistically, Stoicism encourages us to build relationships on the foundations of mutual respect, clarity, and healthy boundaries. When we do this, we move from blind expectation to conscious engagement. Take, for example, a workplace dynamic. One team member values bold innovation, while another prioritizes tradition and stability. At first glance, these differing values might seem like a conflict. But the Stoic mindset invites us to see these contrasts as complementary strengths. Each perspective, rooted in personal experience and self-interest, offers something valuable to the collective effort. By honoring these differences rather than resisting them, we unlock the potential for collaboration, growth, and creative problem-solving. We also learn to negotiate fairly, listen actively, and communicate openly, all traits nurtured by the Stoic virtues of wisdom and justice. Engaging with people who see the world differently, who have different values or priorities, enriches us. It challenges us to think deeper, to understand more broadly, and to grow both emotionally and intellectually. Ultimately, embracing the reality of self-interest in relationships empowers us. It helps us create more realistic expectations, reduce emotional turmoil, and foster deeper, more balanced connections. In doing so, we live more harmoniously, not just with others, but with ourselves. 7. Projection of thoughts and feelings. Projection is one of the more subtle and often unconscious mechanisms of the human mind. It occurs when we attribute our own emotions, traits, or impulses to someone else. What begins as an internal struggle quietly reshapes how we perceive others, often leading to misunderstandings and conflict. Stoicism invites us to step back from this reflex. The Stoics emphasize the importance of deep self-reflection, urging us to question the origins of our thoughts and judgments before we externalize them. If you find yourself accusing a colleague of being selfish or dishonest, pause and ask, is this based on observable fact, or might it be a reflection of my own fears, past wounds, or unmet needs. This kind of honest self-inquiry isn't easy. It demands courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. But it is essential, not just for personal growth, but for cultivating healthier, more authentic relationships. When we recognize that our judgments of others may be shaped by our inner world, we begin to reclaim clarity. Instead of projecting frustration or insecurity outward, we can choose to process those emotions internally, with patience and intention. This shift in awareness transforms our interactions. Rather than reacting with blame or defensiveness, we respond with curiosity and compassion. We engage in dialogue, not accusation, and we create space for mutual understanding rather than unnecessary conflict. Understanding projection also deepens our empathy. We begin to see that others, too, may be projecting their pain, fear, or unresolved emotions. This recognition doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it allows us to respond wisely instead of escalating tensions. In aligning with the Stoic virtues of wisdom and self-control, we reduce distortion and increase harmony, not just within ourselves, but in our communities. Each moment of projection becomes an opportunity for insight. Each interaction becomes a chance to grow in awareness and integrity. In this way, Stoicism teaches us not just to observe our world, but to see ourselves more clearly within it, an act that over time leads to deeper connection and lasting peace. 8. Differing values. In the intricate tapestry of human interaction, few threads stand out more vividly than the diversity of our values. Some people place career success at the center of their lives. Others prioritize family, personal freedom, creativity, or a deep sense of social responsibility. These differing values are not just personal preferences. They're guiding principles that shape decisions, behaviors, and relationships. Naturally, these differences can lead to tension, especially when collective decisions must be made, or when expectations collide. But Stoicism offers us a powerful lens through which to view and navigate these disparities with clarity and compassion. The Stoics remind us that while we have control over our own actions and attitudes, we do not have control over the values or priorities of others, nor should we expect to. This acceptance is not a sign of resignation, but a practice of wisdom. It allows us to engage more constructively with those around us, replacing frustration with understanding. Rather than trying to impose our values, Stoicism teaches us to lead by example. By embodying our own virtues, honesty, courage, patience, justice, we can inspire without coercion. This approach fosters authentic influence, not forceful persuasion. Consider a professional setting where one teammate prioritizes innovation and progress, while another values tradition and stability. These differences might initially seem incompatible, but through a Stoic lens, we see them as complementary strengths. Innovation brings new energy, while tradition offers tested wisdom. When both are respected, the outcome is often a more well-rounded and sustainable solution. Engaging with people who hold different values is not just a way to avoid conflict, it's a path to personal growth. Each new perspective challenges us to re-examine our assumptions and expand our understanding. It requires us to communicate openly, listen actively, and negotiate fairly. Skills deeply rooted in the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, and temperance. In practicing this, we not only foster more peaceful and productive relationships, but we also contribute to a more empathetic and inclusive society. We learn to value others not in spite of their differences, but because of them. To live harmoniously, as the Stoics envisioned, is to recognize that the common good flourishes when all voices are considered and respected. By honoring the variety of values that shape our shared world, we create a richer, more resilient community. Motivational differences. Just as our values differ, so do the forces that drive us. Some individuals find motivation in security, valuing stability, and clear expectations that provide a sense of safety. Others thrive on recognition, drawing energy from acknowledgement and appreciation from their peers. Meanwhile, there are those fueled by curiosity, constantly seeking new knowledge and experiences to satisfy their inquisitive nature. Understanding these diverse motivations is essential for effective personal and professional relationships. Stoicism teaches us to approach others with mindfulness and respect, recognizing their unique drivers. By aligning our communication and actions with what motivates them, we foster more harmonious and productive interactions. For example, acknowledging a team member who values recognition can boost their morale, while providing structure and consistency helps those motivated by security excel. Similarly, offering opportunities for growth and exploration engages the naturally curious. But Stoicism also encourages self-reflection, examining our own motivations to ensure they align with our core values and virtues, which are the foundation of true fulfillment. This conscious alignment allows us to respond effectively to our needs while positively contributing to the world around us. In practicing Stoicism, we build communities that not only accept but support motivational diversity, strengthening the bonds that unite us. By embracing and thoughtfully responding to these differences, we embody Stoic ideals of wisdom and justice, enriching both our relationships and our collective well-being. The power of empathy and understanding. In the intricate dynamics of human interaction, one subtle yet powerful phenomenon is post-decision rationalization. This occurs when individuals unconsciously reshape the reasons behind their choices to better align with their self-image or the persona they wish to present to others. Often, they revise their explanations after the fact, crafting narratives that fit more comfortably with their beliefs or societal expectations. Stoicism highlights the importance of self-awareness and authenticity, urging us to live with decisions guided by truth rather than ego or external approval. Recognizing that people often adjust their stories to protect their self-esteem or avoid cognitive dissonance, the discomfort caused by conflicting beliefs and actions helps us approach others with greater compassion. Seeing post-decision rationalization in someone's behavior allows us to look beyond surface judgments and understand the deeper motivations at play. It invites us to consider why a person might feel compelled to justify their actions and what this reveals about their values, insecurities, or social pressures. For example, if a colleague confidently defends a risky business decision long after it was made, understanding this as a possible rationalization opens the door to more empathetic and meaningful dialogue. It might expose fears of failure or a need for acceptance, universal emotions we all face. Moreover, becoming aware of this tendency within ourselves encourages personal growth. Stoicism teaches us to critically reflect on our reasons for decisions, aligning our actions more closely with our true intentions and ethical principles. This reflection transforms reactive choices into deliberate ones, embodying the Stoic virtues of wisdom and integrity. By embracing these Stoic principles, we nurture patience and understanding in our relationships and cultivate a more authentic, self-aware life. Such an approach enriches not only our personal journeys, but also the quality of our interactions with others. As we navigate life's complexities, the wisdom of Stoicism lights the path toward deeper insight and connection. Thank you for joining us today on Stoic Saga. If this discussion resonated with you, we encourage you to explore further resources on the Stoic way of life. Remember, every interaction, challenge, and moment is an opportunity to grow wiser and strengthen bonds with those around us. Embrace Stoicism's teachings, and may each day bring you closer to understanding and fulfillment.